What is going on, YouTube? Jay Bird is back at you on this beautiful Saturday. And here comes a truck. I didn't think very many people came down this road, but apparently they do. Sorry about the noise. I want to apologize to you guys for not having a vlog last night. Had a really rough week at work. I come home, just relax a little bit, and a friend of mine called and invited me over to have a few beers. I'm sorry about this sun. I hope you guys could see me. It's the best I could do right now at the moment. But anyway, I went to a friend of mine's house and we had a few beers, and I stayed up too late and didn't get much sleep. So I got up this morning and just kind of being lazy, enjoying the Saturday. Fell back asleep, and now here I am. I've just been taking a ride out in the country, seeing all the beautiful scenery, enjoying this beautiful sunshine before it leaves, before it settles down for the night. But today I wanted to talk about the trucking industry. As many of you know, that's how I make a living. I drive a truck. I've been doing it for 16 years. I drive local now. I'm home every day, but probably if you added it up, I think it's like 12 and a half, 13 years total of that 16 years was over the road, out, gone, away from home, away from my family, by myself. And that's one of the downfalls of truck driving is the loneliness and being by yourself, which today's technology makes it a lot better because we have cell phones. I see a lot of truck drivers who interact with people through YouTube. They make YouTube videos of their trucking lives, which is very, very interesting, and I like to watch it. Probably because I can relate to it. But the good thing about trucking, you can make money. There is money to be made out there. The money, to me, after you add it all up and everything, it's really not worth all of the sacrifice that you give, or the sacrifices that you make to be out there earning that money, but you can make a decent living out there. Most truck drivers probably average around between $50,000 and $60,000 a year, which ain't a whole lot, but it's not chump change either. And there's more vehicles coming down this road. I thought I'd be out here by myself, but apparently not. Truck driving gets in your blood. I'm not gonna lie. Once you do it for a little while, you get out there. You hate it while you're out there, but then when you take a break from it, you start missing it. It's weird. It's a love-hate kind of thing. For me, it was anyway. Do I miss being on the road right now? Yes, but I am glad to be home. I'm glad to be home with my family and my girlfriend and get to spend time with them every day. And trucking is it's really hard to explain unless you experience it. And a freaking train coming by. I hope you guys can hear me. Seems like everything in the world wants to mess today's vlog up, but can't let stuff like that get to us, huh? The money part, yes, you can make a decent living out there. Let's see, what is some more pros about it? You get to see the countryside. I've been everywhere that you could think of in the United States, and even went to Canada once. Been to the only place I haven't been in the United States, then I would love to see it too, because I hear it's some really beautiful country up there, is up in the Northwest, in Oregon, Washington State, Wyoming, and, up in that part of the United States. I never really did anything. There's a lot of just open space out there, and although there is industry and freight that goes to there, the people that live there have to have things. It's not as much, obviously, as the rest of the United States. So I just never, out of those years, I never had any freight going out there. Let's see, I've been to California. The furthest north I've been on the West Coast was Northern California, And I'm gonna tell you, man, the scenery and everything up there is beautiful. I loved it. I wanted to go further north, but I didn't get to. Um, a lot of the cons is the loneliness. You're by yourself, unless most trucking companies have a rider policy where you can bring somebody with you. But who wants to go stay on the road and be gone away from home and not get paid for it? It's hard to find. I mean, you could take somebody with you for a week or so or whatever, and then bring them back. But I took my kids when they were young during the summers and stuff. When they were out of school, I would let them go with me. I would only take one at a time though, because I had three, by the way. I've got twin girls, and I've got a son, and they're grown now. My little twin baby girls, Faith and Hope, Daddy loves you. They will be 21 in June. Can you believe it? My kids are grown, and I've got a son, the one that's fixing to go to truck driving school. He just turned 22 in March, so um, I missed a lot of them growing up because of driving a truck. My son played baseball. I missed most of that. Um, Missed some birthdays. I missed school functions, just all that stuff. And that's part of the sacrifice. Um, but trucking, you can make money at it. If you're a single person, male or female, and you have the ambition, and that's something that you like to do, hey man, do it. I do highly recommend, even if you don't use it, if you get out there and decide you don't like it or whatever, you have a CDL. Get your CDL. Once you have that, that's a skill set, and you always have that to fall back on. Always, there's really no excuse when you have those to not have a job. There's really ain't. If times get tough and the money gets low, and you got to do something, you can go to work somewhere. Somebody will hire you. The demand for truck drivers is crazy. I mean, and they're hiring younger and younger people. People, even people who's had felonies. A lot of companies, these bigger companies, will still hire you as long as the felony is, like 7 to 10 years old and stuff like that. Um, it's a skill set, and it's something to fall back on for sure. Um, I'll tell you some of the other cons about it. I'll tell you a story that happened to me. Um, I don't remember exactly what part of the country that I was in when this happened. I know I was in the South. I just don't remember which state. I think it was Georgia, but I could be wrong. It was about like it is right now. It was in the afternoon, just becoming evening. I pulled into a truck stop, and I was going to take a shower. I was just going in to take a shower, get me something to eat, and then get back in the truck and finish my night out because I still had hours left to drive. Um, I got out of the truck, and this guy comes up to me, and he was talking real excitedly and real fast, kind of like, "Hey, did you hear about this truck driver? He just won $100,000. Well, it's crazy. Come check him out. He's right back here." And I kind of fell for it at first. I was like, "Oh, really? What? I thought maybe he won the lottery or something. I didn't know." So I started following the guy in between trucks there. And luckily, I just happened to look to where he was leading me, and under the trailers of the truck, I could see a couple of sets of feet under there, and they wasn't moving, and I didn't hear anything. And the guy who was trying to lead me there was in front of me. So I didn't say nothing, and I just turned around and come back out and got out of in between the trucks, out where people could see me, and started walking toward the truck stop. And of course he noticed he noticed that I was walking away, and he tried to stop me. "Hey, wait, come here, you gotta see this, you gotta see this." I just didn't pay him no mind. I just kept walking toward the truck stop. I went in, I took my shower, I got me something to eat. The whole time was probably an hour and a half I was in there maybe. Um, I noticed when I got up to eat, and as I was making my way toward exiting the truck stop, I seen police lights and ambulances everywhere. And come to find out, a truck driver had been stabbed. Now, I don't know if it killed him. I don't know if the guy died. Um, but, and it was because some people out there, the people who stabbed him were hustling truck drivers to rob them. And that's exactly what that guy was trying to do to me, and it could have been me. And it was you really got to be careful out there. Don't trust anybody. You know, if stay don't let nobody lure you in between those trucks, because those trucks park really close together, and they park like trailer to trailer. So all those in between trucks and behind the trucks, you don't want to be back there messing around. Because anything could happen in the blink of an eye, and nobody would never know because nobody could see you. Yeah, that was a scary experience that happened to me out on the road. Numerous stories of me getting myself in pickles, getting places where a truck's not supposed to be, and having to figure out how to get out of there. I even got a ticket in Chicago one time. Actually, Chicago Heights is where I got a ticket, and it was in construction. I was kind of forced to go into this residential neighborhood because there was nowhere to turn. There was the place that I actually was supposed to turn to get to the facility that I was going to and delivering to. There was, as I came back, I did see a little, but it was so hard to see. There's no wonder, and it kind of made me feel like it was a trap. But I paid the ticket. I think it was like $7,500, something like that. And this was in the early 2000s, around 2002, 2003, something like that. Um, sure did. I got in down because of that construction, and I didn't see that little place. The one little bitty place I was supposed to turn, I didn't see it, and I kept going straight. And I wound up in a neighborhood to where I was stuck. I couldn't go nowhere. There's been a few times where I come up on a low bridge that the truck can't fit in under. And so, sometimes it's in a major city, traffic and people everywhere, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, what can you do? Pull the brakes, hit the hazard lights, and call the police. That's what I did, and had them guide me out of there. Luckily, the only ticket I ever got was for being in that residential neighborhood in Chicago Heights. And most of the time, especially with the low bridge situations, the cops understand. Like that. There's no signs. Until you get to the bridge, the signs are there warning you when it's too late. You can't just turn those things around. You can't do it. You can't U-turn. Traffic going everywhere, especially in a big city. Oh man, it's just that's part of the kinds of truck driving. I have been in some very, very sticky situations. Um, the last over the road I experienced that I had was actually a good one. My girlfriend Alicia decided to go out there with me, and we stayed out there for about 6 months, and we just had a really good old time. But she just couldn't handle the road. She wasn't a road person. After about 6 months, she made up her mind. I can't do this. I got to be home. So we came home, and here I am. I've got a local job that I'm happy with. I make pretty good money, at least enough to support us, and that's about it. Gosh, there's so much stuff about trucking that I could talk about. This video would go on and on and on. Y'all probably sick of hearing me ramble about it, but that's today's vlog, guys. If there's any questions that I forgot or didn't explain well, because I know when I get to talking, I probably jump from subject to subject, and sorry, I apologize. It's just me. Um, Something that I didn't elaborate on good enough, or if there's any questions whatsoever about the trucking industry, 16 years experience, I could probably answer it. And if I can't answer it, I could probably lead you to somebody who definitely can. Um, I know a lot of people, the most question that I'm ever asked is, which company is the best company to go for? And there is no answer for that. It depends on the individual. Different companies have different perks. A lot of companies that pay really, really well. The money's real good, but they lack on the benefits as far as like rider policies, pet policies, and things like that. A lot of people just will not go without their significant other, or their animal or something like that. They're just not going to go out there. So those kind of people need to go You'll have to sacrifice money, I'm sure, but you could just find the highest paying one that you can find that has the benefits that you want. Um, and that's a really hard question to answer, and that's one of the most common is which company is the best to drive for, and it just depends. And you have different fields of trucking. There's dry van, which is just hauling stuff that um, that doesn't need to be refrigerated. It's what would be non-perishable or whatever. It could be range from many things. And then you have what we in the trucker industry call reefer, which is refrigerated. You have flatbed, uh, Alka tanker. There's all kinds of stuff, different fields, and they all are a little bit different, and they all, because of the like a reefer truck, because it has to be refrigerated. You're mostly hauling food and stuff like that. So, and there's different. The places you go to is different. The rules are different. I just heard like something fall out of a tree or something. I hope Bigfoot's not going to get me out here. But anyway, guys, I'll quit rambling. I've been rambling long enough about trucking. You are welcome to ask me any questions that you want to. Feel free to um, comment, like on Facebook, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. Keep a smile on those beautiful faces. Until next time, peace and love. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.